This is FatKings Friday for May 9th. I am Phil Olson. Welcome to the show. I am joined tonight by our guest. Well, we really have two guests, but we always use one as a guest host and one as a victim. So guest host this week, who has already been on the show, but our guest has also been on the show, so I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. But this week it is the one and only Voodoo Queen, Miss Tanya VSG.
Woo!
Hello, hello.
And of course, our number one dude, the guy who's making videos long before I ever started and got me involved with this video making thing, Mr. Kirk VSG.
Hello, I am your token gay.
I just stacked the deck. It's all Team Phil tonight, so
That's right.
figured out all I have to do is just stack the deck and then I can win. It's nice.
Hey, I never said I was Team FatKings.
That's true. You did. That is true. You did say that. So Tanya's New Orleans underwater internet has been giving us a little grief with Google, so she may cut in and out, but she's so far so good. So
yeah, the alligators are on the bikes riding, trying to get it working. So
yeah, exactly. Nice. So let's just say how was your guys' day? We'll start with ladies first, I guess. How you guys doing today?
Oh, it was fantastic. I stayed home today, so I didn't go to work. So I had a nice relaxing day. I'm all geared up for tonight.
And
I played hooky.
How about you?
I did the same thing. That's so weird because Tanya and I did not plan this, but I took the day off of work also because I was just so flippin' excited about this and doing a few other things. I had to make sure I looked good and rested and that my lighting was nice and that my cruise glass was filled with some nice twist cap wine. So
everybody but me. See, I almost stopped. I got up this morning and I rolled out of bed and I said, well, okay, what am I going to wear today? I said, oh yeah, I got to wear plaid and I got to wear Mardi Gras beads. So I cover both of my bases here. So
oh, I got beads. I have beads like 3 feet from me. I should go grab some.
Well, if you want these, I can. You know how to get them. You know how this works.
Oh, well, in that case, wait.
Woo-hoo! I'll throw them at the screen.
Oh wait, let me go grab mine.
Oh man. So actually, we had folks who were so excited about this show that we had some pre-submitted questions right out of the gates. But before we get to that stuff. We got an exclusive here because Kirk has not really talked anything about Tampa at all, and I don't think Tanya really made much to do about Tampa, like a Fields video or anything. So we're gonna go to Kirk on this. Kirk, give us your breakdown from your Tampa experience. Were you a big emotional ball of mess when you got home too, or did you manage to skate around that?
Well, yeah, no, not at all. In fact, I had a little bit of an idea of what to expect because I got to go to Obesity Help last fall. And I had already experienced what being around a group of WLSers was like and how life-changing really it was for me. I mean, to be around a group of people who got exactly what I was going through, just even sitting down and eating with folks where you didn't have to explain why you were eating little or what you were ordering, and the fact that we just all instantly clicked. I mean, I remember at OH, I hadn't met Sarah and Corey or anybody in person yet, face-to-face, and the very first thing I did was sneak up behind Corey J. Cook and give him a big old hug, and it was just like the most natural and normal thing, and within minutes we were all just kind of like, okay, now what are we doing? Where are we going? Whatever. So I got a taste of that in Anaheim last year. So with all the build-up for Tampa, I mean, I was ready, but I mean, I wasn't ready necessarily for the scale of how many folks I was actually going to meet then at that point because I had made so many more friends. And of course, I was really looking forward to meeting you, Phil, and Tanya. I can't even, she knows, I turned into, screaming Twilight fangirl mess when I met her. It was I could not leave her side. I had to touch her. I mean, we were, locked arms, oh, do we need to go get some ice? Okay, let's go. And I'm I couldn't let her go. I'm looking at her.
Half of my pictures are me and you doing selfies. Half of them.
I couldn't couldn't help it. So the Tampa part. So Tampa, I'll break into two sections. Tampa, the land portion, was so intense and so amazing, and I knew that it was going to be because I knew that there was going to be a whole section of folks that I just loved dearly that were only going to be on that portion. So I made a conscientious effort to make sure that every moment that I had available to spend time with these folks and to touch them and to feel them and to, okay, taste them, whatever, I was going to do, and so really, I thought it was great. Really, like, it wasn't until maybe after the land portion, maybe before the sea portion, where we, those of us that were at the conference, started hearing buzz and rambling about there being some kind of drama or whatever, and it was like, and I had to really like.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, that was like that was a poignant moment where he.
I know, like.
I really had to. It was like he started to think or something. He paused.
Are we okay?
You're back. You're back.
Yeah, now we're back.
You said I really had to, and then it was like you stopped to think, and then you dropped that. So.
Oh no, I really had to think back, like what was going on, or why there was this commotion or things, Anyways, so the land portion was great. I want to thank everybody who came to the Sunday afternoon drag brunch, which was not part of the official itinerary. We had a blast. I mean, there was nothing but love and laughter and fun and all kinds of stuff. So that was Tampa for me. So what made it less depressing was the fact that I knew I still had a whole nother component, the sea portion, to look forward to. And the sea portion was just amazing. I mean, you got to, like, it wasn't just like passing people in a hallway that you might get to spend a few minutes with and may not. You got to spend almost a whole week with people, so you really got a chance to know people on a different level than just WLS. You got to know about their jobs, and you got to meet their families, and you got to know more, about them. And it was a much deeper connection with people who I would have never normally crossed paths with. I mean, so I thought the event overall was just, it was really, really, really good. And so I spent probably a good 2 or 3 days of doing nothing but watching YouTube videos when I got home of all the post-Tampa, drama feels. Because, I mean, I needed to be clued into, like, what was going on, like, what was the drama, or, like, what was bad. Because I felt nothing but, like, love, deep connections. I mean, was I semi-aware of some stuff going on? But yeah, and whenever you're in a big, huge group dynamic, there's always going to be something going on, whatever, who cares, no big deal. But I mean, it was like nothing like that was that earth-shattering. But what I did find, or what I found very interesting, it was the people who made the biggest deal out of anything that may have even been even remotely negative about Tampa were the people who weren't even there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Isn't that classic?
Ulterior motives because they have, personal or professional vendettas that have happened or established way before my time, your time, any of our time. So I thought that was all just kind of weird and sick in a way, But, it's just, everybody's got their stuff, and until somebody comes after me personally, I love all the talking about, the vague generalities of this group or that clique or this whatever. I'll just kind of just leave it at that for now. But certainly, I think anybody who ever gets an opportunity to do something like the Land and Sea meet and greet, and I'm not talking about WLSFA or OH. I'm not associating a particular group. I'm saying whenever you get around a chance to be around a group of other WLSers and get to share your experiences and have fun, you should do this, especially whether you're early in your journey, mid-journey, whatever, post-journey. There's something of value you can add or will get from this that will change your life.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And Tanya, I'll let you tag up on that. I just wanted to say, I think, with the whole drama piece, outside of folks who weren't there, I don't even think about it. I don't care about it. It's like, go, where facts are few, experts are many. So that's how I kind of compartmentalize those folks. With the stuff that actually happened there, to me, it was like, hey, when you can't be that emotionally charged and have that much emotion, I mean, as much as emotional as I was in that place, if everybody was feeling that way, you're going to have a reaction. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to feel vulnerable, and they're going to take things different ways. And I think that a lot of that crap just came out of everybody being super emotional, both in a good and a very vulnerable way. And I just, whatever. Like I said in my last video, I got a big path for forgiveness, and I don't think any malicious intent was involved with the people that were there.
Yeah.
The people that weren't there, yeah, I think there's some malicious intent, and you guys know where I stand on that based on my last video.
Yeah.
But Tanya, how about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a FatKings exclusive in Tampa. I kissed a girl, and I liked it.
Well, it's like a good segue.
And I liked it too.
Tanya, how about your Tampa experience outside of what you've already probably talked about? Very little, though.
I do not discriminate. Boys and girls, it's all good.
Well, yeah. Everybody take notes.
No, I agree. I think that the emotions were high, especially right after Tampa 2. I think when we look back at the drama, it really wasn't that big a deal. It probably felt like a bigger deal when it happened, but I think everything's all good now, and everybody's pretty calm and happy, and we're all a big happy family, right? So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, so. It's even some of that I think has made our bonds even deeper, because especially the sort of attack that happened, especially from the folks that weren't even there. The way we have had to sort of circle our wagons and sort of really dig deep into ourselves to really kind of own what we should own, and then not own the things that we don't need to own. It's another collective experience that, if anything, made our bonds and our friendships even deeper.
I agree. Yeah. Everybody that was there, like you said, everybody that was there I would go again with everybody. I had a great time. All that
definitely.
The BS is so small and so nothing now. It's so stupid,
Right.
And at the moment, it just seemed worse because everybody was emotionally charged, and I don't even think about it. Even this crap,
I would never trade.
That was just.
I would never trade it in a million years. It was the biggest blast, and it was awesome. I wish we all lived closer so we could hang out. I said before we started that I wish we could hang out every weekend. I love being with everybody. So, like I said, I want to hit a lottery, buy an island, and we can all have a commune and just live together. We can have perky jerky and Quest bars shipped in, and it would be one big happy family.
You just have to call it a compound. I have a problem.
Okay,
but a compound I can do.
Okay, whatever makes you feel better, Phil.
That's fine.
All right, the questions are coming in now, hot and heavy. So,
all right,
we got 3 pre-submitted ones. I was going to go straight to these because since they're pre-submitted, they deserve a little extra attention. But there's one that begs to be asked, and we have to own this up front. And I'm going to rephrase it a little bit. It's from Little Aussie Mel, and it's a serious question. So, who's the better kisser, Phil or Tanya?
Who's the question for?
It's for you, Kirk.
Well, a gentleman never kisses and tells. Never.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer. All right, for our now pre-submitted question. All right, this one's for everybody. Do you ever think about changing careers since you've lost weight? We'll start with Kirk.
With me? Yeah, actually I have. As some of you guys probably already know from watching my videos, I really, really enjoy being involved with my surgical center. I really believe in the program that I was involved in and their sort of wraparound approach to weight loss surgery. And I've had, thoughts, or I've had fantasies about actually somehow incorporating my background in mental health and sales and recruitment and all kinds of things into something that is in the weight loss surgery arena, whether it be like patient navigation or medical tourism or who knows what. But yeah, I mean, I've considered it, and I would like there to be a place for me someplace in the weight loss surgery profession someday, because I think for a few reasons. One is I really enjoy it and I'm very passionate about it because of what it's done for me. But I think it'll help me be accountable long term to always sort of be in that environment where it's a big focus. So yeah, I've definitely considered it, and we'll see somewhere down the road when Mr. Eric makes me a doctor's first wife, I'll have the luxury of having a job that is more of a fun job or a hobby job as opposed to a job that I need to have in order to pay the bills.
I think the great irony of that is once you probably get to that point, you'll probably end up being more successful and probably making more money than you do now because you love it so much. You know what I mean?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That means more trips to Colorado and to New Orleans.
There you go. I like the sound of that. What about you, Tanya? You think about career change ever since weight loss?
I've definitely thought about it. I would love to be more active in the weight loss surgery community locally and doing something. But, you know, I'm an accountant, and what I do is fairly lucrative. I'm pretty happy with the pay. I think I would probably have to take a big pay cut to do something in that field. But I wish that there was something I could do on the side or something, because I like Kirk said, like I feel like it would keep me more accountable. I like being connected with people. I like being connected with newbies because of their enthusiasm for the whole process, and it kind of keeps you inspired to keep going. So I don't know how I transitioned from accountant to to something in the weight loss surgery field. I don't know. But I would love to, because I'm all in, you know. I'm definitely, for some reason, it's definitely, I've been one of these people who, you know, started out and I didn't phase out. I'm still involved and I want to be involved and I want to meet new people. So I don't know. I don't know how I could make it happen though.
I think you could. The only double-edged sword to that is that I've seen the people who have sort of transitioned into making weight loss surgery or somehow are financially benefiting from weight loss surgery as their sole source of income, and I think it's changed them in not so many positive ways. So I kind of like the fact that I'm not financially or professionally invested in the weight loss surgery community. So everything you're getting from me is from my heart, and it's what I have extra to give, and there's no ulterior motive, and there's no politics involved. It's what you see.
Right.
Yet, and you know, that's good. I see some really good people in the community who have made weight loss surgery their profession, and they're doing things from very good places. But I see some people doing it from also not very good places, and it's scary. And as confident as I seem, probably, and as together and supported as I seem, I don't know if I would be open and ready to take on some of those kind of personal attacks when people become very competitive in a marketplace.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I feel like right. I agree. I feel like that's how I feel too. Like, right, you know, what you're getting here is what I really feel, because I have no, other than my personal, you know, making me feel good about what I do, I have no benefit from it. So yeah, if you start making money from it, I don't know, it feels like you could go down the wrong path really easy. So I don't know.
But I'm not going to rule it out.
Right. What about you, Phil?
You know, I haven't really thought about changing careers at all at this point. I have spent the last few years kind of working toward this particular career path, so I think I'm probably going to stick with it for a while. But it's really, I can apply it in a lot of different ways. I just like where I work. So being a project manager, I could project manage pretty much anything, you know, it would be different, but I could do it from construction all the way to what I do now, which is IT stuff. So
right.
It's just how you apply it. So if I had the opportunity to do it for in a weight loss environment, and you know, I could lend that skill to building being part of a team, yeah, I might do it. But
you could project manage a meet and greet.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think I was designated the other night to do that. I might have volunteered too.
That's right.
Either that or just like a men wearing plaid website. I think you'll be really successful at that too.
FatKings plaid line. You two can dress like
the plaid line.
I'd subscribe.
More hairy chest, though, right? Not so many buttons. I got you.
I have no plaid in my wardrobe. That's the one pattern I don't have.
Well, we can fix that.
Just saying.
I'm going to mix in some of the questions that are coming into the stream with the pre-submitted ones. But this one's from VSG Christopher. Where do you go from here? Okay, so let me repeat the question. Sorry. When you both reached your 1 year mark, did you feel like, where do I go from here? And if so, what do you recommend others who are feeling that way? We'll go with Tanya this time.
I remember reaching my 1 year mark, and I did a video. But I don't think I had that feeling. I just figured I just kept doing what I was doing. I mean, you know, I've said before, like, nothing changes. So, and nothing really changed. I just kept doing the same thing. So, I don't know. It was no question in my mind, where do I go from here? I kept making videos. I kept following the plan, eating the same, talking to the same people, meeting new people. I don't know. I didn't think I needed to change anything. I don't know. What about you, Kirk?
No, I feel the same way. Like the 1 year was it was a 1 year kind of thing. Well, first it felt like it went by really fast.
Yeah.
But it's like even today, there's not much difference from what I do today than what I did 3 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever. Because when I went into this, I completely changed everything. Well, not everything, but I changed how I thought about or how I related to food and stuff. So for me, where I want to go from here is just to sort of kind of continue this feeling that I have of being at my goal, whether it's a number or an emotional goal. The feeling that I wanted to have as a result of weight loss surgery and the type of health that I wanted to have as a result of weight loss surgery happened. It happened before a year, really. I mean, so right now it's not even an issue. Like, I don't wake up every day and say, what can I eat? What can I eat? Should I have this? Should I have that? It's a non-issue. It just is. It's just like, this is what I'm going to have for breakfast today, and it's almost always the same thing. You know, and then like, oh, and these are the few choices of the things that I have for lunch, and it's always kind of the same thing. So where I want to go from here maybe is not from like a food or diet place, but I certainly, you know, from a health standpoint, where do I go from here is like, well, I want to become stronger, and I want to have, you know, I want to have more muscle tone, and I want to be debt free. I mean, these are things that have nothing to do with my body or anything, but who I am as a person and where I want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because what I'm learning, especially through weight loss surgery, is that the only limits that I have on myself are the ones that I place on myself. That by obtaining access to tools that will help me be successful and believing in the process, whether that's weight loss surgery, whether that's from a health standpoint, whether that's from a financial standpoint, aligning myself with people and tools that will help me be successful, I can pretty much break down any of those barriers. So where do I want to go from here? I just want to become an even better version of myself, and certainly give back to those people who need somebody to help them sort of break through their own personal mental barriers and jump through all the various hoops and get to where they want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because, you know, like, I did the half marathon this weekend, and went 2 weeks after surgery is when I made my goals, and that was the last thing on my goal list, and it was like a goofy, I'm never going to do that, but I'll write it down just for the fun of it, and, you know, I said in my video today, like, coming back from Beaumont after I did it, I kind of teared up a little bit, because I'm like, I never, even when I wrote it down, and even when I lost all the weight and I felt fit, I still never thought I would do a half marathon. I still thought that was a real pipe dream. And to know that I did that, I'm like, you know, before surgery, I didn't want to park far away from the grocery store because I didn't want to walk that far in. And then I did 13 miles this weekend. You know, it's like, who is this person? I still question, who is this person? It's crazy. And so now it's like, well, now that was my last.
Oh, there goes that.
That was a big challenge.
Yes.
Oh, am I out?
Very good. You know, you dropped out just for a second. We thought,
Okay.
uh-oh, right, here we go.
Okay.
You guys get into these
But
really
no, so now,
great answers, and then you just drop out.
it's like Google knows.
Okay, some, it
But
does.
yeah, so now I kind of
You got the secret.
so now I feel like I need to know like now I need something, not some other big thing that I think is unachievable. I need to put that on my list. I don't know what it is yet.
Very good. All right, I'm going to mix in another one here. Have you guys, have you developed, and then again, this is from Robinson, sorry, Christine Robinson. Have you developed or discovered, or were they always there, health issues post-weight loss? That's for all of us, but we'll go back to Kirk.
Health issues post weight loss. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, in my videos, I talked a little bit about during surgery, I actually died technically on the operating table, and they weren't really sure why that happened. And then subsequent tests sort of confirmed that I have a hereditary iron disorder, where I'm one of those people that actually store too much iron. And they thought that might have something to do with if my organs were storing iron that was messing up the electricity in my heart, whatever. So as a result of surgery, I don't have extra health issues. What it did, though, was bring to attention a health issue that I have always had but never addressed. So I'm actually, as a result of weight loss surgery, not only healthier now because of now being in a normal BMI range, but healthier because I have my iron levels monitored pretty frequently and actually go for phlebotomies every 3 weeks to make sure my iron levels are low, so are within normal range. So I'm actually the healthiest I've ever been.
Nice. Tanya?
Well, about 6 months after surgery, I developed hypoglycemia. So that I never had any blood sugar issues before that. You'd think I would have had blood sugar issues before, but I did, and so that changed me a lot, and so that's why I have to eat every 2 to 3 hours now, or I still, out of the blue, really just a few weeks ago, I was at the grocery store, and I was by myself, and I had to text my husband and say, my blood sugar's dropping, I can feel it, and I was afraid I was going to pass out in the store, and I had to go to the refrigerated section and get a bottle of orange juice and drink something right there, and which it hadn't happened in a while because I do have it pretty much under control, but I never had that before surgery. And I don't know, I guess it's something I'll deal with forever just because I don't eat the carbohydrates like I used to. So, but other than that, my cholesterol was always good even before when I ate terrible. So I guess I have good blood. I don't know, but I did. I'm off blood pressure medicine, and other than that, I'm great. I have my arthritis issues, but that has nothing to do with my weight. So
You had those before, so right? So I mean, it wasn't new as a result of surgery.
what, my arthritis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started with that when I was 15. It's an immune system disorder, and my rheumatologist had told me, even when I was heavy, I'd ask him, if I lost weight, do you think that would help? And he said no, it has nothing to do with your weight. And so, losing weight was my thing, not that. And so, those issues are pretty much the same as they were before surgery. So, in fact, in some ways they're a little bit worse. Like I did aggravate stuff with doing the marathon this weekend. So, but I don't care. I'm glad to have that accomplishment. So.
Yeah, the only thing I've noticed since weight loss health-wise, I mean, I still go in and get my blood checked pretty regularly. I was kind of doing that when I was trying to lose weight before surgery. I was going in every 6 months and just getting my blood tested, and because I was working out and trying to eat low calorie, and I just want to make sure I wasn't, make sure things were going in the right direction from a blood chemistry perspective. So that's been monitored from even before. But the one thing I've noticed is as I've gotten thinner, the nerve cluster in my back that basically goes down into your leg, I had a problem with it when I started doing a lot of core work, especially when I was heavier, because the muscles got really thick in my back and were pressing on that nerve, and they were causing my legs to kind of feel like pins and needles on the front side, to where the front side of my left quad was almost like dead. I couldn't feel anything. I just feel pressure. I couldn't feel like touch. And that went away as the weight went away, but then now I notice when I work out, really, if I work out and then I go to sleep at night, if I'm laying on my back, it presses just enough. There's not enough fat there to protect that nerve cluster, just sandwiches it between the bed and the back muscles, and I wake up and both my legs will just be stinging just like needles, like somebody just slapped my legs with hands full of needles. So I mean, I guess that's a health issue technically, but it's just a nerve cluster. Nothing I can much do about it.
Have you
Yeah, I can't.
Have you noticed now, like when you sleep? I was telling Eric this the other night or the other day that I actually like when I sleep on my side, it actually bothers me that my knees touch.
Yes.
Yes.
Never a problem before, but it's like how? So it's like, well, do I put the pillow and then I put a pillow, but then when I turn over, it's like, how do I keep the pillow there? And then I wake up and.
You know what's
No,
crazy
you gotta have
about
like
that? Oh, go ahead, Tanya. Sorry.
Well, also I was gonna say you have to have the leg separation where you have like one knee bent and one leg straight, and then you turn over and you do the same thing on the other side. Like I've figured that out, and there's no back sleeping because my tailbone hurts too much. And that'll wake me up in the middle of the night. So.
Oh yeah, that's definitely that damn tailbone. Jesus.
Oh.
I want to tell you guys something very special right now. That we actually have a very special guest watching right now, and Eric never watches these videos, but Eric is watching right now.
Woohoo!
And he wants
Hey,
to
Eric.
know, he wants to know how he can ask a question. So I'm going to tell him he can just, Eric, you can just text me the question, and if I approve it,
It'll get asked.
it'll get asked. Or I guess you can just leave a comment on the video, right, Phil? Is that how people ask questions?
Yeah. Right now, it's just I put a comment in the bottom of the video there, and I just keep refreshing. And I can tell you this is going to be a long show because there are a lot of questions.
All right, sorry, but yeah,
No, I mean he gets priority because he's a +1. So
yeah, and he actually just completed his 8th test after his first year of medical school and has been doing nothing but studying and studying. So it's a big deal that he's here with us. So now.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
Makes me very happy. It was our anniversary yesterday, 10 years.
I saw that. Congratulations.
I know. Congratulations.
So this quick question from VSG for me, and I think we can all answer this with one word, but feel free to elaborate. Once you reach goal, does the constant coldness ever stop?
Yes.
It doesn't stop. Never. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
yes, it does.
I've had colder periods than others, but I've learned to deal with it. I mean, I dress in a lot of layers, so.
Yeah, I noticed that even when it's warm outside, my hands are still cool, but not cold like they used to be. But in the wintertime, yeah, it's just layers.
Well, it's gotten warmer here in New Orleans. I just told John last night. I said, are you finding it's warm in the middle of the night? I've woken up in the middle of the night sweating a couple of times, which is very unusual because since surgery I was always freezing. So maybe at 2.5 years things shift, but the winter was definitely easier to handle. I mean, it was cold, but I don't know. I find I'm getting a little bit warmer than I was right after surgery. So I don't know. I'll see how this summer is.
That's because you're hot, Mama.
And you're really.
That's right.
I think TJ wanted me to remind. I think TJ. I'm feeling TJ in my brain. He says that you're really old, so you might be going through the change because you're like 45 now, right?
Phil,
See, I got TJ in there.
I thought you were on my side. Don't go to.
I couldn't help it though. I heard it. Somewhere in the world, he heard that, and
Yeah. You were thinking hot flashes. I know.
Hot flashes.
No, I have no hot flashes. I haven't gone there yet.
Here's a Kirk exclusive question.
Oh, shit.
From Michael VSG.
Oh, I love my Michael VSG.
Kirk, what is it like being the only one with an autographed picture of Michael?
Well, of course, I feel extremely honored. In fact, I was just looking at it today, and it is actually sandwiched between with the chewing gum that was also autographed, but it's between a picture of Will and Sarah Spano in Cozumel, and then a picture that I just got from Less of Sarah the other day. That's from the cruise. I think it's me, Sarah, Will, and Waffle. Both Sarahs, Waffles. Anyways, the 4 of us, or that would make more than 4 of us, in some very kind of inappropriate kind of choo-choo train pose with our hands over our mouths like this, but in front of one of those prom picture sunsets on the cruise ship. So apparently during one of the photo op opportunities on the cruise ship, we decided to be extremely inappropriate, and the professional photographer thought it was a fantastic moment to capture. I had no idea that they bought any of those pictures, so the other day, just out of the blue in the mail, I got the picture, and I'm like, oh my god, this is great. It's going up, you know, it's certainly captured the moment of the sea portion of the cruise, which was just amazing. I really hope, I don't know the details yet on the next year's event, but I saw that it's going to be out of San Diego, which is also a cruise ship port. And if they do a sea portion again, like do like a 5 or 3 day or whatever down to Mexico, I'm there, man. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, I might have to mix it up and try the sea next time instead of just the land.
Oh,
we'll
the
see.
sea part was fantastic.
Yeah, I was super jealous about the sea part.
I was more just like I didn't want the party to end, and I really didn't want to say goodbye. That Sunday was tough. So.
Yeah.
So there's another exclusive Kirk question. I apologize, Tanya, but it says, Doug drops the weight wants to know, is it true that once you go Tanya, you never go back?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah. Like, we were just talking, oh gosh, last Friday, I was at my office. In my office, we actually, on Friday afternoons at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have happy hour in the office. My boss is really cool, and you know, I work in Seattle. You know, we have no dress code. We work in a very fancy high-rise building, but it's very laid back because we're in Amazonville, you know, where people are allowed to bring their dogs to work and whatever. So it's really cool, laid-back environment. And we're sitting there, and I'm still talking about the cruise and the experience and my weight loss surgery friends, and I'm showing pictures still. I'm sure they're sick of it. But for whatever reason, Tanya came up during our conversation. I'm sitting next to my CEO, you know, who's this fabulous woman, and telling her, like, oh my gosh, yeah, you know, VSG Tanya from New Orleans. I mean, seriously, all we have to do is listen to her talk. Just read the phone book. I don't care. And my boss was like actually very fascinated by this because she knows how extremely gynophobic I am. And I'm like, no, it's like it's different with Tanya because it's Tanya. I mean, you just cannot help but be sucked into her feminine vortex. You know, so I mean, yeah. So no, I love me some VSG Tanya. I mean, she knows this like from not knowing me from anybody, you know, in all of her subscribers. You know, and one time I think she commented or replied to something on mine, and I was like,
I remember that you were like, OMG, VSG Tanya commented on my video, and I was like, are you serious?
And I can picture her in my mind with her sunglasses on while driving, saying, Kirk, darling, just hang in there. You're doing great. You're rocking.
Kirk,
exactly.
Kirk, you are fabulous. I love you.
I really love you. I really, really love you. Oh, shit, Eric's watching this.
I'm going to mute and just watch the rest
I love
of
you
this
too.
quietly.
It's a love fest.
It's a love fest.
Speaking of gynophobia, our good friend Corey J. Cook, who's the most gynophobic person I know. What is the hardest thing you have experienced during this journey? We'll start with Tanya this time.
Ooh, the hardest thing I've experienced? That's a good question. The hardest thing I've experienced is, honestly, relationship issues. Just to be, like, brutally honest, you know, in the last few months, John and I have had, you know, some really issues around, I guess, me having more self-confidence and wanting to get out and do more, and a little bit of jealousy issues, and a little bit of jealousy over the community. You know, before all this, I really didn't have a whole lot of friends, and now I have a huge group of friends, and I have a core group of friends that I feel really close with, and I think that was a little bit, you know, hard for him to understand. But he's gotten more involved in the community, and I think he's getting a better feel that that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's just different than what it was before. And so that's actually been the hardest thing. Losing the weight and all that, to me, I always say that's the fun stuff. the emotional stuff is the hard stuff. So, but we're coming through it good. You know, we seem to be making some headway. So, but it hasn't been easy. Yeah, the relationship stuff is not easy. But it's worth it.
Mr. Kirk.
No, I agree. I mean, Eric and I have had a pretty strong relationship the whole time. You have to keep in mind too that our relationship was sort of always, well, not always, but it originated in the fact that I was a larger man, and that's what Eric is attracted to. And we had to have real conversations about what is it going to be like when, if I'm successful at this. There was no question in my mind that it was going to work. But like, what was that going to do to our dynamics as far as him being physically attracted to me? And I was really open with everybody about, especially since we don't get to live together all the time, there'll be large chunks of time where he doesn't see me, so the changes are a little bit more dramatic. They're not as subtle. And I was really concerned about that. But I have to tell you, he's been like 100%, like extremely supportive, even though I know, like, from an aesthetic point of view, I may not be what it is he was originally attracted to, but after 10 years, it's not all about the physical. But I'll tell you, like, there have been times where, there was a time where Eric and I were supposed to do a couples Q&A video, and I was all for it, and then all of a sudden there were some real kind of serious questions that came up in our relationship about jealousy and those kinds of things. I just didn't really think it was appropriate to talk about, what's it like to be attracted to everybody now, and that kind of thing, because we were in the middle of experiencing something right then and there that was very intense. So, that the mental part of this has been the hardest for sure. Toll. If you don't have a strong relationship to begin with, I'm sorry. I just don't think that I don't know that there's a way for people to make it beyond this if they're not already at least relatively strong, because everything's going to come up. Everything. Self-esteem, loyalty, commitment, everything. Like, it's all challenged. So if you're not grounded in something other than your physical appearance and those kinds of things, then I don't know. And I'm not saying this from a point of, oh, everything's flowery and perfect and great and, rainbows, unicorns, and glitter. It takes work every single day.
Yeah, I got to say that, there's nothing you guys haven't said already. And nothing that I haven't kind of been dealing with in the last 3 videos I've made, but if you think you're just gonna struggle with don't eat this and control when you eat, I mean, there's all that stuff. Like you gotta recognize your triggers and what makes you snack and what made you do the things you did before. That is pale in comparison in difficulty to even the internal you against you kind of dialogue that you have. So I'd agree with you guys. And then from the relationship perspective, I'm at that point where I don't want to say too much about it at all because I'm still trying to figure it all out. So it's like I don't want to say something in the middle of trying to figure it out and with my wife trying to figure it out, and then end up causing more trouble. So it's like we're still it's a big piece of the puzzle that we're working on. So I'm
huge.
Yeah.
Hopes, but you just do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought I had skirted around it. I thought I got through that beginning part and I was fine, and then I think after the tummy tuck, that like triggered something, and no holds barred, but I guess it has to be dealt with at some point. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, Mr. Waffle, the one and only Mr. Chris Waffle asks, who is your biggest WLS inspiration? Go back to Kirk.
Oh, my biggest inspiration.
You might have to think back to when you started.
Yeah, I can't say that there's one person in particular that was like, oh, this is the person. I'll have to tell you who I think. Can I just say who I admire the most?
Sure.
That would be hands down, by far, without a doubt, Less of Sarah. Sarah Spano. I think her videos alone help so many people and cross so many barriers that if I was going to say I have an inspiration or I have somebody, and I didn't have Sarah's videos ahead of time, so I got to know Sarah after, post-op or on the loser's bench. But if I were to tell someone who was considering surgery or whatever to go back and watch an entire series, if they could only watch one person, I would say it has to be less of Sarah. Because the mental work that she does in her videos surpasses anything that I've ever seen, and her point of view and the way she's able to tune into her own intuition and articulate what she's feeling and some of the solutions-based thought process behind it is something that is special.
Yeah.
I agree. Tanya?
Well, I'd say before surgery, my biggest inspiration was somebody who does not make videos anymore. Her channel was called The Slim Jen, and I binge watched her videos before I had surgery, and she was just she started at a similar place that I did, and about the same size, and she was committed, and she talked about what she ate and the progress every week, and I basically kind of mimicked my channel after her because I was so inspired, and then she kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and she's checked in here and there, nothing recently, but I was really inspired by her when I started, and now I would probably say, Alessa Sarah, definitely. She and I connected pretty early on. There's so many things about her mental process and my mental process that just connected. I mean, I think she's like a year behind me, but I always say I don't hold myself to a particular class. I'm not the 2011 class. I'm open to everybody. And then Sarah Nerd in Oregon, when she doesn't make videos all the time, but when she does, she comes up with this like real head work that makes me think, and I step back and I'm like, oh my God, why did I not think? And then I'm like, wait, I need to watch this 3 more times so I can process this and figure out what I think of. So she inspires me emotionally,
Definitely.
Those are some of the biggies.
Well, I'm gonna tag up on that actually here in my answer, but so I think when I originally started watching videos, I was looking for guys specifically. I've mentioned this before. There was a guy by the name of Big Nick VSG who made videos, but I kind of joined him late. He'd already gone pretty far down the road. And then there was Big Tony, and I don't remember his name, like Wombat Lover. I think it was Wombat Lover. I don't know. Oh, what's that?
I vaguely remember. That sounds familiar too.
Yeah, and but they made their videos. They got to wait, and they're gone. I mean, I haven't heard of them. But then it was Mike and Kirk, and then eventually Corey, and then Sarah. Sarah was the first woman I started watching. So I got the trifecta right there, between those folks, but or the quadfecta. But yeah. So once I started watching you guys, and it's kind of funny you mentioned Nerd in Oregon, because that last video that Sarah did was really inspired by something you said, Kirk. And how does it feel to be the brainchild of that, with that little nugget that you just kind of dropped on her? Because that went a long way. That went into her video, and then into my videos, and then Sarah's video. I mean, it really went a long way.
Those are the things that happened during WLSFA. That's something that was a conversation that happened in a taxi cab on the way back from spending a wonderful day in Cozumel. Where we just got a chance to talk, about things and about life and about, this is the result of being around like-minded people, and what she was describing, and what she was talking about. It just naturally, I just had to ask her. I'm like, you sound like you're at goal, the kind of thing. Have you considered that you're at goal? So it wasn't meant as an inspiration, but just more as, when you're around people who are experiencing the same thing, who kind of get what you're going through, there's sort of this momentum that happens to where we can help pull each other out of our comfort zones and just maybe take us to that next level where we can sort of think about things outside of ourselves. Whereas somebody who's maybe always been average sized or normal sized or has other things that they're working on would have never thought to even go there. So I don't consider it being an inspiration. I consider it just being a friend.
Well said, sir. Well said. All right, next one up here. Doug drops the weight again. What are your top 2 or 3 tips for other WLSers? I'm assuming he means newer ones, but I don't know that to be the case. People who are not as far as you are, because you guys are a little further out. Tanya.
My first tip would be don't test the waters. Don't try foods that you shouldn't until you absolutely can't. Maybe until you're at goal. I don't know, because once you incorporate a food that you shouldn't, it's hard to get it out of your diet. So that would be my first tip. And then my second tip would probably just be to get a routine, get a habit. You know, like Kirk was talking earlier, you know, you wake up and you probably eat the same breakfast basically, and you eat the same lunch basically. Once you get a routine, you don't have to think about it very much, and things kind of just fall into place. You get your exercise routine, and that falls into place. And once you create the habit, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to think about it. That would be my 2 tips.
So you're Kirk?
Kirk?
Yeah, you know, I have to agree too. You know, against my doctor's advice, I actually went back to work pretty early. I had surgery on a Thursday and was sitting at my desk the next Thursday. But for me, what was helpful about that is I automatically got into a routine. And, you know, that helped me out a lot. So with Tanya saying don't test the waters, I didn't test the waters. If I was in a particular stage, that's the stage that I was in, and I made it work. I wasn't going to fool around with people who do this for a living and know how to have the most positive outcomes. So there was no reason, if I was going to go through the process of literally dying on the operating table, to then try to push, you know, pureed stage before soft food stage or whatever. You know, so yeah, I would say the routine is good. I would say really look at why you want to eat when you want to eat, because a lot of times, you know, I still don't even know if I feel hunger. I mean, I know some people do and some people don't, but I looked really early on in my journey, the motivation behind why I thought I wanted to eat at a particular time or why I wanted to eat a particular thing. You know, so that's really helpful. So those would be some advice. I would say surround yourself by people who are really suppository.
Oh.
Positive role model. People who are successful, and follow their journeys, follow their advice. You know, be willing to forgive yourself. And the third thing, the most important thing, it's my mantra, it's what I preach all the time, is do not turn this journey into a number. Period. You are not a number. Don't weigh yourself 5 times a day. Don't let the course of your day or your mood be affected by you stepping on the scale in the morning. If anything else, the most important bit of advice I'd have to say is that number 3. Do not make this journey about a number, because if you do, you're just going to be disappointed. Hands down, by far, disappointed. Yeah. I could go right now and give you a list of 5 or 6 people. You would go to their YouTube videos right now. They look emaciated. They look sick. They are way below their number weight, and they have not met their goal.
Yeah.
So right. Don't make this about a number.
Kirk, I have to tell you, you're always in my head, because I was addicted to the scale for a long time, and you always seem to be like a calming effect when it comes to don't worry about the number, don't worry about the number, and that really helped me step away from the scale and think about, am I making healthy food choices? Am I doing the right thing? And do I feel good in my clothes? Am I living my life the way I want to? And it really did help me step away from the scale and stop making the number, because like you're right, the number is not the thing. The number is not why we had surgery. I didn't even have a number goal.
Or did she have an internet connection?
Yes, the number would be important when it comes to internet connection.
Yeah, wait, there she's back.
I'm back. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I just, like, I still think about that when I don't weigh on a daily basis. I'm like, I owe that to Kirk, because he just had that calming effect that makes me feel like it's not about that. That's not what it's about. It's about doing the right thing for myself. And um, that was a hard thing to get over because I was addicted to the scale for a long time, even after meeting gold.
It's really easy to do that. Hey, Phil.
Yes, sir.
So Eric has a question, but apparently it's TJ's question. So we're supposed to answer TJ's question, whatever TJ's question is.
So I don't see TJ, but I did see Tyrone posted a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyrone's question.
That said, Kirk, does E practice his prostate exam skills on you? You were just talking about suppository friends.
I would say E would love to practice his prostate exams on me. And I'll tell you something that's been very helpful having Mr. E around is a couple weeks ago I was feeling really, really kind of weird, like physically. And it was just so nice to know, the first thing he did was kick into doctor mode and he took my blood pressure and it was like really super low. But he had a really sweet bedside manner and made sure that I was okay and made sure that I had whatever I needed and kept a close eye on me. And, so I'll tell you, if he keeps that kind of attentiveness up and that type of love and support, there is no part of me that he cannot routinely exam on his whim. And especially when he makes me a doctor's first wife, really, it's a blank check, really. That'll be my job at that point. But then...
the answer was so sweet, I can't even make a joke. I was going to make a joke, but it's too nice. Keep going.
He wants to... But he asked me another question. He wants... what if your current weight is way below what you would like it to be? Yeah, it is. My weight right now is probably lower than I'd like it to be, and I keep dropping. So any weight that I put on from this point on, I would like it to be muscle. And the only way that's going to happen is by working out. And I have to say my one thing on this entire journey that's been I would consider a failure for me is my ability to find that love for physical exertion just for the fact of being physically exerted. Like, I will walk all day long. I will, you tell me, let's go do this, let's go do that, whatever. I'll do it. But go tell me, go stand in a room with a bunch of equipment and sweaty people and wall-to-wall mirrors. I don't get it. But I get very, very jealous of, like, when Phil, like, when you did your pull-up, I was like, hell yeah. I mean, that's, like, a huge deal. Like, I can't, like, to me, that's like that is impossible for me as hitting the lottery. Like, I can't even imagine what that would feels like. So I get very, people get really jealous of some of us who are able to lose weight easily, who don't stall, who don't have a problem with hunger. I'm jealous of those people that are, in the gym, killing it. They're not seeing the movement on the scale, probably because they are building muscle instead of just eating away at their muscles like I am, So that's, so yeah, so with his question, I'm a little bit underweight, but, I'm a work in progress, and I'm willing to forgive myself and be kind enough to myself to say, I didn't gain all this weight overnight, I'm not going to lose it all overnight, and, I'm always going to be a work in progress, whatever that is.
I would take up on that. I made a choice, much like Sarah Norton made a choice to do all the mental work while she was doing the weight loss. I made the choice to try and maintain as much muscle as I could while I was doing the weight loss, which is different kind of tricky, obviously, because you're going to lose some muscle, period. There's no way you can't if you're eating that little. But, to kind of go back to your whole point about body weight and, goal weights and, muscle mass and stuff, I went into the nutritionist yesterday, and I haven't posted this anywhere yet. So I had lost another. I got down from 21 point something body fat to 19% body fat, and didn't manage to lose much weight during that time, which means I basically lost body fat and put muscle on, which is I was shocked I was able to do that at all, eating as little as I do. And I think for me, it's like, I got a new number now. I don't really think Lauren and I have been on the Turtles race to quote unquote goal for the last few weeks, and I think she and I are both kind of in the same spot. We were talking. It's like, I don't care. Really, I'll get there when I get there. But my whole goal was not so much to get to a number anymore to have a weight on the scale. It was more like, I want to get to that number so that I can then put 5 pounds of muscle back on and have even a lower body fat percentage. And I think you need to keep that in mind. That's why I think working with a nutritionist is really, really good, because when you're not seeing the scale move, other components of your body could be moving, like body fat percentages, muscle mass, measurements are also good. So I agree with you. Don't tie yourself to a number at all. And as far as working out goes, the only way you're going to put muscle on is you're going to have to eat. You got to eat.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to probably take in more calories than you're used to. So until I can start doing that heavy lifting, I don't want to start taking in more calories. So I thought my goal might be to get to my quote-unquote goal weight, figure out, and then raise my calories up so I'm not losing anymore. And then from there say, okay, now I'm going to start doing more heavy lifting to put my shoulders back, my arms back, and then figure out what my new calorie range is going to have to be in order to build muscle. So we might end up eating a ton more lifting heavy weight than we would doing the stuff we're doing now. I think you're in a good spot, Kirk, to be honest with you. I mean, you got a blank slate. You can basically go in and build the body you want now,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy.
How about you, Tanya? As far as body composition, underweight, overweight, I mean, what do you feel?
Well, I never got to the underweight status. Thank you. I wasn't one of those people who lost and couldn't stop losing. That wasn't me. And I did have a body assessment done. I think it was back in September, and I was shocked that they said, oh, you don't need to lose any weight. Like, when have you ever had any kind of body composition, anything done? And they said you didn't have to lose any weight. I was like, what? So, but yeah, now it's more about fitness and what muscles do you want to build, and what skill do you want to learn, and that kind of thing. So to me, the fitness doesn't have so much to do with the weight loss anymore. It has to do with ability and things that you want to do and challenges. So I guess I just don't equate that anymore that way. I don't know.
Very good.
I'm definitely am more fit than I've ever been in my whole life, and it's kind of a weird place to be for me.
But it's a good weird, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a good weird. I've always had a love-hate relationship with exercise, where I hate it when I start, but then when I finish, I feel so great, and so once you're in the routine of doing it, you feel great doing it because you feel so accomplished after. But I've always been kind of I have to kick myself in the ass to get started, or I won't do it. So.
And the great thing
about church.
So the great thing about being at a smaller body frame and then working out is you can actually see, if you're okay, I really want to work my arms, or I want to work my chest, or whatever, you can see the results a lot easier now because you don't have all this fat on top of it, and it's like a instant positive reinforcement. You're like, oh my God, look, it's working, or it takes a couple of weeks, but even to TJ's point when he was talking about when you start lifting, you get that immediate kind of flush of water into your system, which will put a lot of weight on you, but it also bulks up the muscles so you can see, oh, that's what it's going to look like if I keep doing this. So I think you guys are, you're right. It's definitely it's definitely more. And Tanya, to your point, working out now is not about weight loss. It's more about performance improvement or even vanity improvement. The muscles, etc. I mean, nobody really needs to be able to bench press, 400 pounds, but it's impressive. It's fun. So can't do that, by the way. But I mean, it would be cool.
Well, John and I used to always tease each other about when we go through phases of working out. I have some awesome muscles under this layer of fat. And now I don't have that layer of fat anymore. I can actually show off some guns. And so that's a weird place to be. I never was there before, so it's fun. It's fun to show that off. So.
Alrighty, let's see. What do we got? We got so many questions here. Okay, let's see. Jim Haney. I haven't. Jim started commenting recently on some of my videos, so thank you, sir. He's 5.5 years out.
Wow.
And he still stays connected to the WLS community.
He's lost a ton of weight. I think he was over 400 pounds when he started. Yeah.
He looks like a pretty lean dude. Now. It's funny. You see people who you never saw big, and that's how you think of them. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Do you think staying connected helps you? Oh, son of a gun! It refreshed right when I did that. All right. Do you think staying connected helps you maintain your life change? If so, how? Tanya.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's been the key to me staying on track. I'm sure I know we've all lost weight before, and then we've gained it back, and then we lost it, and we gained it back. But I think people, that's been a key to me staying on track. Yeah, definitely. I definitely, contribute a lot of my maintenance to staying on track with the community. Yeah.
So you're Kirk?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with me sort of staying on track. I mean, there's part of me that is very much now habituated with what I do, with what I eat, how I think, that kind of thing. But what keeps it all still kind of fresh and exciting and whatever is my connection with the weight loss surgery community. And I love doing the weight loss surgery seminars for my surgery center and going to the conventions for them and being sort of like the patient spokesperson. So I think being involved like that has, been really helpful to keep me in the mindset that this is, this is just a new way of life, and it's kind of like discovering something new, and wanting to share it with everybody. But I try to find, I'm not that kind of person that's just going to walk up to somebody and say, "Oh my gosh, you're overweight. You need to have weight loss surgery,"
right?
Kind of thing. So I like to go places where people are at least they've made the first step and want to talk about it and want to learn more about it. And I learn stuff every day from people who haven't even stepped foot into an operating room table yet. So yeah, it's great.
Hey, let me ask you guys: are you okay going a little long? Because I know we're over. I don't want to keep if you don't have anything else to do. I'd like to keep going, but I want to be respectful of your time as well.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good. Because there's lots more questions. I hate to leave anybody out. So let's see. All three of us. Have you felt the need to get a medical ID bracelet or necklace or anything? Have you guys done that?
No.
Tanya?
No, I haven't. No.
I did, but after talking to Lauren, I found that, and this specific question was around no NG tubes. After talking to Lauren, who is a nurse, she explained the whole NG tube thing to me, and I think it was probably just a good way for somebody to make an extra $20, $30 off me. So I probably just stopped wearing it, to be honest with you. Forget I have it on. So no, I don't think you need it at all.
With
Is it an arm? That's an RNY thing, or?
No, it's just that I guess the NG tube, like they put it down your nose and your throat if you're unconscious and they need to put fluids in you. There's a worry that they're going to go too far and damage the stomach, the pouch or sleeve rather. I think it would probably be just as much traumatic for RNY as well. But the way Lauren told me they measure it, everybody wants to know this. They just take a tube and they measure. Okay, well your stomach should be right about here, so they just measure that length, and that's as far as they go. They're not trying to shove it out your backside, so you don't really have anything to worry about.
I'll tell you, I have no medical worries whatsoever when I'm around Lauren. If I'm gonna flop over and start having a heart attack or anything, I want Lauren right there.
She is on the case.
Tutu.
Yes.
But,
she was on the case. Somebody had a seizure in the lobby, and that girl was on it. Bam! Like immediately, she was right there.
Definitely.
Very impressed.
Yes.
So, yeah, she is not only is she a sweetheart, she is well trained. So, so yeah, I would say don't worry about it. Let's see here. Okay. Alrighty, I've been dealing with a lot of emotional episodes. This is from Miss Beautiful. Oh God, Beautiful Alicia. Yeah.
Yes, from Oregon.
Alicia.
Emotional episodes, Alicia. Sorry. How do you deal with the emotional part of losing weight so quickly? And I'm only laughing because I'm right there with you. By the way, thank you, Kirk, for helping me through that the other night. So we'll start with Kirk.
Well, I've been really open with everybody about, I've had some real kind of funks during my weight loss journey, and it was probably maybe 2 months ago where the funks were like really serious funks, like serious funks. And so I just said, screw it, I've got to make myself a priority just like I have with all this other stuff. And I reached out for professional help, and I, started going to counseling on a weekly basis, just not because I didn't have enough support. I'm surrounded by nothing but support. I've got you guys, I have a supportive partner, I have a supportive employer, and having all of that support, I still was busting into tears for no reason at all. there was just something that was not reconciling with the outer self and the inner self. And whether that was fear, whether that was grieving my old self, whatever it was. So I found going to weekly psychotherapy actually became really helpful. I wanted to do that before just automatically going on to a medication. Surgery for me eliminated so many medications that before introducing a medication just to try to feel nothing or to feel better, I really started wanting to feel something, like feel it and then really feel it and then maybe figure out what it was all about, find tools of reconciling it. And for me, you know, the therapy really, I even told Eric, like, before I even met the therapist, I'm like, oh, I looked at his website. I don't think we're going to connect at all. His method is very old-fashioned. It's all very Freudian. It's all very talk therapy, you know. And I was used to doing very kind of spiritual, transcendental, you know, just very kind of fringy stuff. But I'll tell you, there was a lot to be said about just being able to kind of come once a week, talk about what was going on to a third party who was not invested on any front, and just sort of help me reflect, like, you know, what was happening and sort of, you know, kind of point out, you know, things of interest or of note, and maybe ask a few questions about things that I was talking about that helped me start thinking about, oh, yeah, you know, then help normalize some of the stuff that I was going through, and all of a sudden I started feeling better and better. And so I still go, but I've been able to reduce it now down to maybe every other week. And at this point, maybe it's more of a point of just so that I'm sort of accountable for doing the kind of mental work, you know, and keeping myself aware of those things. So that's what's gotten me through the mental part of the journey, is utilizing not just my support system, but professional help as well.
Is Tanya?
What was the original question?
You got so mesmerized.
Sorry.
Yes. How do you deal with the emotional part of losing weight so quickly?
Not well. I haven't had any professional counseling, and I've been, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I've been a little bit leery of counseling. I was afraid it would, I don't know, bring out stuff that I don't want to deal with, or I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm probably not the. I'm not the poster child for dealing with emotional problems because I'm not a therapist.
Tanya, here's the thing.
What?
The fact that you're afraid of that, of this or that, or going, more reason why you probably should.
Really?
Yeah. Because what have you faced so far? How many things have you faced so far that you were sort of afraid of doing, and you've come out of the other end stronger?
Well, a ton of everything. I mean, everything. I don't know, but like the physical stuff is easy. The emotional stuff is hard, right? So it's like, I don't know, like I don't know. You know, I'm that type A kind of personality, and I always like to be right, and I always like to say that everything I do is the right choice. And so I'm afraid that when I go to counseling, they're going to say, you know, you've totally fucked up, and so you need to change what you're doing. And so that kind of scares me a little bit. So
they won't do that though. They'll just point out. They'll point out the way some of the ways you look at things. They'll say, hey, did you ever notice that you look at this like this, and what about this? They'll just ask a question, and they'll let you chew on it. You do all the self-destruction up here.
Yeah, they plant the seed.
Right.
And then I stew on it for a week until I go back.
Right. They don't get paid to judge you. They just get paid to help you think about things. You know, like, and that's, you know, it's funny. It's a timely question because I just I hit a counselor a couple weeks ago whom did that. He definitely gave me a little nugget to chew on, which I thought was interesting, but I wasn't really particularly comfortable with him or his office and stuff, so I switched. I'm going to see another guy next week, whom I've worked with before. So just having somebody to kind of listen to the way you say things and the way you do things, and then kind of feed it back to you and ask questions of you because they're curious, because they don't know the whole story. They don't have the dialogue you have going on in your head. Sometimes just makes you think about the dialogue in your head a little differently. So, I mean, I'm early on, so I mean, I've definitely gone to counseling before for, you know, when my dad passed, marriage counseling. So I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, there was that little arrogant piece of me, like, I've done this enough to know myself and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, like I've been talking about in the last, since Sarah made her video, I've been thinking a lot about the things that folks asked in those videos, the questions they asked, and realizing that my black and white type A perspective is not so, what's Lincoln said, stand firm, find a place to plant your feet firmly, then stand, or something like that. Maybe I'm not standing on such firm ground anymore. I got to kind of go through and figure out what that's all about. So
that's why I want to hashtag 50 Shades of Phil. Right now, you're 50 Shades of Phil phase.
It took me I had to read that like 2 or 3 times before I got it. I'm like, oh, he means because the gray. Yeah, I got it. I'm wading up to my knees in the gray. I actually like that. I laughed pretty hard.
Well, and that's what kind of scares me too.
I don't think. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that's kind of scares me too, because like everybody, all of the community, that's my support, and that's who I bounce things off each other. And so, we may not always have the best perspective of how to handle a situation or handle an emotion that we're feeling. And so that that has made me think maybe I should go to a counselor to talk about things, because if we're all going through the same weird emotion at the same time, are we going to give each other the best advice? I don't know. It's nice to know that other people are feeling the same thing that you're feeling, but is it going to help you get to the other side? I'm not sure.
I can just tell you, having a fresh perspective, somebody who does not have any background on your history, like if there's places in your background that you don't want to go, they don't know anything about it, and they don't necessarily even need to go there. They can just help you with like what's going on right here and now, and it won't be clouded by them either wanting to impress you or to, or any of those things. So I mean, I was impressed. I went into it thinking I'm probably not going to get anything out of this, and I really don't think it's going to work, but I'm willing to try it. And I'm pleasantly surprised. And the part about it that I'm proud about the most of myself, not sounding too narcissistic, is that I was willing to be open-minded, and I was willing to at least go and know that I may not know what I don't know. And it took me out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad that I did, because I'm not in that funk anymore, and things are good.
We'll compare notes, Tanya.
To know that you don't know is good.
You and I are cut from the same cloth, so I'll be the guinea pig, and then I will convince you.
Yeah. Yes, we're definitely twins.
Tanya, come here. I talk to you for a second.
Because all you guys are going to get from me is how fabulous you are, or how handsome you look, and all those things. You're not going to get anything else of that.
Kirk is good on the ego. I will say that much.
Yeah, definitely.
TK Sleever asks, as a pre-op, well, she has a statement and then that question, but I thought it was so good I'm going to read the whole thing. As a pre-op, my biggest fear is that I will fail. How will I be able to maintain weight loss when I never have before? What has kept you on track this time as opposed to when you previously lost weight? So good. Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, clearly there's a physical barrier that has prevented me from kind of going to that place where I just felt like I needed to eat. So having the physical barrier there was really helpful early on, because it really literally makes you press pause, and you can't sit there and stuff your feelings or your emotions, or you can't use food to calm down. You just physically can't. I mean, you will feel sick, or you will hurt yourself, or those kinds of things. So where this has been successful so far, where other things have failed, is that conditioning early on in the surgical process, where you really had a lot of restriction, made you physically press pause, which then made you mentally press pause. And so now when I feel like it's like, oh yeah, I'm really stressed out, I'd love to have a big platter of steak super nachos with extra cheese, sour cream, and guacamole, I can have that thought now without running to the nearest Mexican food restaurant and actually getting it, but actually kind of laugh about it and say, oh my gosh, I'm having one of those, one of those moments. So where this has been successful for me so far, and I don't care how far you out. I think that the fear of failing is never going to go away, and I'm accepting that, and I think that's a good motivator.
Yeah.
I'll say so far though, having the physical barrier and then actually having some physical and mental conditioning happen as a result of the surgery is what's made it successful and beyond different than anything I've experienced in my entire career of weight loss.
The sleeve is the carrot and the stick. And what I mean by that is that you get the positive reinforcement of dropping weight every week. Like, I'm doing the work, it's working, it's working, it's working, it's working, and it's not as it's not as hard as it was in the past to eat such small amounts. I can do it and not be suffering to do it. That the stick is when you go too far, and believe me, and I'm a gold star sleever, I've never thrown up, but I've come so close. And that is the absolute most painful feeling, worst feeling. You're walking around, you're just like, oh, and I've had it happen just with I ate one rib too many. I had 3 ribs instead of 2, little ribs. And it just for some reason, walking around, you're like, oh God, that air bubble, and you're just walking around, you're like, oh, I just want to die. There is something to be said for both the positive and the negative reinforcement. But to Kirk's point, you still have those triggers. So the other day, I was eating chicken with pesto in it. Nothing horrible. And it tasted really, really good. And I ate my 3 ounces because I weigh everything out for ahead of time because I just won't slow down. And I set it to the side. I'm like, God, that tasted so good. I want more. And I was stressed out, so I went back and I got more. And about 3 or 4 bites into that, I started to get that pressure feeling, and I was like, oh, stop right now, stop right now. So you're absolutely right. The tool does help with that respect, but you still do have those mental triggers you have to learn to recognize, or you will TJ it and become a dough factory. So for somebody who's not on the show, he gets a lot of play on the show still. Tanya, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had that exact same thing happen this week, but it wasn't even with something bad. It was with celery.
It was with good stuff.
I know, it was with good stuff. So I don't eat chips and salsa anymore because I used to love chips and salsa. So now I eat celery and salsa. And apparently I didn't chew good enough, or I don't know what. It wouldn't come up, it wouldn't go down, it was stuck. And 2.5 years out, I'm like, I shouldn't be dealing with this shit. I should know better. But what makes it different now? God, I think when you commit to following the rules for at least the first 6 months, you set those core principles in place, and you make that part of your life, and it's who you are. You're not the person who goes and eats the nachos, and I ate the big plates of pasta every night, And now I could care less about pasta. I'm sure it tastes great still, but I don't care about it anymore. Because when you form that habit that that's not who you are anymore, then that's when you become a new person. You redefine yourself, and that's how I feel like I did. I've redefined who I am. I'm not the heavy person who doesn't want to walk anywhere, and I want to just sit and eat pasta and po' boys and be lazy. That's not me anymore. That's not me. I'm the person who eats low carb, and I do half marathons.
At the same time, like, you had the sleeve, right? So if you want a piece of po' boy, you cut a piece of a small piece, and you eat it. And you can't eat much of it because it's got the bread and all that other stuff. So the nice thing is you go, okay, I'm just going to have it anyway, and then I'm going to go right back to my normal healthy eating, but I'm only going to have a small piece of it. It's
right. If I want to, po' boy, I get a po' boy. I probably eat 2 bites of the actual po' boy, and then I'd eat all the meat out the inside because I had the satisfaction of the po' boy, and then I had the protein, and I'm happy. I'm good, and that's what makes the difference. But you got to make the mental choice to do that.
That's true.
So I guess what we're saying is the reason why this is successful is because it doesn't really feel like a diet. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't even rules. It just feels like it is it is, and it's who you are, and this is what I choose to eat. And it's good for me, and it's in small portions, and it doesn't feel like I'm deprived at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't feel deprived.
No. For months after surgery, people in my family would ask me, can you have that? Can you eat that? Can you have that? And it would drive me out of my mind. And I would say, I choose to eat this. I choose to eat that. I choose to not eat this. I choose to not eat that. It's my choice. It's who I am now. It's not my diet. It's not my surgery. It's part of me. My surgery keeps me in check, but it's part of me.
Yeah.
It's my choice.
VSG Bear said something that really clicked with me, and it stayed with me the entire time. He said, well, I'll now screw it up because I'm on the spot. He said, it does. I can eat it. It's not going to hurt me, but it's not going to help me either. So that's the great thing about this. You can have anything you want, but you come to a point where you're like, well, I could have it, but it's not going to do what I want it to do. So it's not going to hurt me, but it's not going to help me either. So I kind of take that approach, and you'll pick up little nuggets from people in the community that you identify with, or you'll watch a video and you'll pull one sentence out of maybe 30 videos. You'll be like, oh my God, that's the holy grail right there, and it just will connect with you.
Yeah, it sticks in the back of your head, and like 6 months later, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk, are you going to the meetup at Spoon and Waffles? That's from Jennifer.
I believe that's on the 31st, and I don't know yet. There's still some. Eric and I still have some logistics that we have to work out with him finishing school in Pullman, coming back to Seattle, doing a summer internship in Yakima, and coming back to Seattle. So we'll just, if I'm not with Eric, I will be with Spoon and Waffle for sure.
Very good. VSG Bobby wants to ask, what calorie range do you give yourself each day, and how often do you go over it, if at all? You guys are a little further out, so I'm going to let you go first. Kirk.
I don't track my calories anymore. I don't track my food because what I eat now is just so who I am. It's just I eat what I eat every single day in more or less the same portions or variations that I don't track anymore. So it's that would be hard for me to answer. If I had to guess, I would say I'm probably somewhere around 1,200 calories a day. Unless it's like a weekend or whatever where we're doing something special or where there's maybe wine or Malibu and diets involved, then maybe it's closer to 2,000 calories in a day. I don't know. But I don't know. I think once I habituated in my eating habits and patterns, food's not is a non-issue for me, and I don't track it any longer. So I don't know. And calories were never a focus ever for me, actually. Protein was my focus.
Yeah.
But you, Tanya, do you?
If I'm tracking, which I had gotten away from, I'm kind of trying to get back into it. I try and stick to 1,200, and I try and keep my carbs are between like 45 to 60 net carbs, which is fairly easy because I don't do the bread, rice, pasta, potatoes. So I don't usually have a problem staying in my carb limit. Sometimes it's harder than other days. Some days you feel like your sleeve is kind of a bottomless pit, and some days it's not. So, but I think those days kind of balance themselves out when you're in maintenance, and so I find when I'm exercising regularly, but like a moderate exercise, I make better food choices, and I'm not as hungry. I'm distracted from hunger. When I'm not exercising, I'm a little bit bored, and I'll graze because I'm bored, not because I'm hungry. And so my calories might go up a little bit, but I try and stay around 1,200. That's my normal range.
Yeah, I'm tipping in right now about 900, 950. Again, still trying to drop weight a little bit. Again, mainly just trying to burn fat, to be honest with you, and maintain muscle mass. But protein is key. I try and get 100 grams of protein a day. The calories kind of take care of themselves. I have never worried about carbs or fats because if I'm watching proteins and calories, the other two take care of themselves, so I don't really have to worry about it. I've never worried about salt, to be honest with you, and I don't think I've ever cracked that. Yeah. Tuesday when I was traveling back from Texas, I bought a bag of trail mix that was mainly peanuts and almonds and cashews and stuff, and I thought, oh man, and I looked at the back and the calories looked good, and man, I should know better by this point. I didn't bother to check how many servings were in the bag because I'm so used to grabbing like a bag of Perky Jerky is 1 serving, a Quest bar is 1 serving, and normie food, 4 servings in there. So I ate the whole bag. Like that wasn't too bad. I'm a little full, but not too bad. And then when I realized what I'd done, it was a 600 calorie meal, and that freaked me out a little bit because that was almost my whole day, and so I ate 1,800 calories that day, but that was an outlier. I haven't done it since or before, and like I said, I average around 900, 950 right now, I think I'll probably go up to 1,200 once I'm trying to maintain weight. And then when I start lifting heavy, maybe more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see how my body reacts. So
yeah,
protein is key, though. I agree with you.
I've always been one of those people throughout this journey where I thought that it was kind of good to sort of spike every now and then in your calories so your body didn't get used to the same thing every day. So I never really beat myself up if I kind of like went over on a particular day, or like if I had something that was like a 600 calorie meal, because I actually would end up losing more weight those weeks where I would have some of those spikes. And to me, it kind of, I called it keeping my metabolism on its toes, really, where my body didn't get used to always just having, a certain level. So I've done the same thing, like on a road trip. Thought, I'm gonna get something I need. I feel like I need some salt because I pretty much eat very low salt, or just things that don't naturally have salt, and my blood pressure runs kind of low, very low. So I think one trip I was like, I'll have some corn nuts, thinking no big deal. And then I looked at the package after I was done. I'm like, oh, holy crap, corn nuts. That was like 300 or 400 calories when I ate the whole bag. But I'm like, oh well. So I, recorded it, and I had extra calories that particular day.
As long as you're not making it a habit, as long as your normal days are pretty, like you said, you eat pretty much the same thing every day. I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you my breakfast, morning, snack, lunch is pretty much the same every damn day. I mean, the type of meat changes for lunch, but that's about it. And then dinner's the only thing that kind of I futz around with at all. I mean, otherwise it's just yogurt, protein, yogurt, cheese stick, herky jerky, and then a Quest bar or a big train Fit Frappe for after workout. That's it. That's my whole.
Exactly.
I mean,
we're like living parallel lives.
I know, right? So it's like you just get, and I don't. That's the shit I crave now. That's the weird thing. I crave herky jerky. I crave Quest bars. I don't know. It's funny. You will get there. Don't worry about it. Don't put too much pressure on there. And Bobby's kicking ass anyway, so he knows what he's doing. So just keep doing what you're doing, Bobby. And the one thing I will tell you, my nutritionist told me, and I paid for it, so here you can have it for free. When you start adjusting your calories up as you get to a maintenance phase, she said try bumping them up 250 at a time. In other words, do 250, try it for a week, see what happens. If you're still losing, bump up another 250. She said don't make big jumps. Just do little jumps to adjust until you figure it out. Give your body a chance to kind of adjust. So for what it's worth. Okay, I'm kind of skimming through questions now here. See if we got a couple of repeats here. And you know what? We will go through, and we'll all go through the comments that you guys are putting in there. And if we miss them, we'll try and answer them, via text. Answer them in the actual chat.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to somebody who's building muscle, I will tell you this: somebody who's building muscle and had the sleeve, go hit up J-Mac. He's been hitting the gym pretty hard, and he could probably give you some tips there if you're looking to build muscle. Anybody?
Yeah. Did you see his arms? He has like no freaking loose skin. It's like all guns. Yeah. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
And he's intensive. Oh, and Jim, by the way, Jim was up to almost, his high weight was 600 pounds. So go look at Jim's picture, and you will be shocked because that's
impressive.
He doesn't look like somebody who's ever 600 pounds.
And he likes bacon, so.
He doesn't. And we'll just find him all, point to him like, in the Invasion of the Bystanders. Hey, how often do you guys weigh? That was another question. KDVSG had that question.
I do it like once, maybe every other week. Like once every 2 weeks or so.
Very good. Tanya?
Yeah, I used to do twice a week. Well, I used to do twice a day in the beginning, and then I phased into twice a week, and then probably now, lately, I've been once a week, but I went through a phase of like once every 2 weeks. I'm trying to move to the how do I feel in my clothes? Am I eating correctly? Am I working out correctly? And if my clothes feel good, then that's all I need. But now the scale has bounced up a little bit, so I'm trying to get that in check. So, yeah, like once a week. I think that's a safe place to be.
Yeah, I think I'm at 2 times a week, and but it's funny now. I can tell you, if I weigh Saturday morning, I weigh the least in the week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about my midpoint on Tuesday when my actual official weigh-in is. So if I wanted to really go through it, I could tell you my high, my low, but I just don't bother. I hit Saturday just for fun to see, oh, hey, what's my low this week, and then I do Tuesday just for my official weigh-in. So But again, and I can't emphasize this enough, and I know I'm just stealing from Kirk because he said it, but if the scale's not doing something for you, use a tape measure. If a tape measure is not doing something for you, use your clothes. If the clothes not doing something for you, do a body fat percentage. Go down and get on one of those scales that does the body fat percentage. They're not 100% accurate, but if you have those different metrics to measure your progress, and I don't want to say success, but your progress by, you're going to find that when the weight doesn't move, your pants size drops huge all of a sudden, or your shirt size drops huge all of a sudden, or your body fat's down, or something else is moving. Don't just assume that you're failing. Your body's adjusting to a huge change. I was 115 pounds 10 months ago, higher than I am now. My body's got to adjust to that. So, so not to belabor that, but.
Well, Jamie posted a video today, VSG Betty, and she said, most of our surgeons say if you lost 50 to 60% of your body weight, you're successful. So all of us are way beyond what the success, thing is. So anything beyond that is our personal thing. It's not what our surgeons are putting on us. It's what we're putting on ourselves. So.
Yeah. Are you guys going to be attending any of the upcoming events, the more weight loss events? Just I kind of know the answer, but I'm saying this for everybody in the audience so they can maybe make the attempt to attend as well.
So I would like to very much be at the next Obesity Help Conference in Los Angeles in August. I've made my reservations. I'm really hoping that if it's a time when Eric doesn't have to be in school or it's before he starts school, that I actually get to bring him to one of these things. So we've got friends and family down there, so it's looking good for August for me, for Obesity Help for sure.
Very good.
Yeah, I've actually booked my hotel. I haven't booked my flight yet, but John and I are supposed to both go to Obesity Help. He's kind of excited to meet some plus ones, and I think a bunch of the plus ones are the first time he actually attends with me. I've been to 3 meet and greets by myself, so yeah, I'm definitely as many things as I can go to where I can meet other WLS people, I'm going. So yeah,
definitely.
Phil,
I unfortunately don't think I'll be making Obesity Help, but I have a family trip that's going out to California the week before that, so I'm thinking maybe I can move some stuff around and then maybe drop down there, but it's a long shot at the best at this point, so we will see. I am working on Australia, but I got to figure that out pretty quick because the airfare's been going up a little bit, so I got to watch that. So that's all I know of right now, but that's that. So, any shout-outs for you, Tanya? Did you want to do any shout-outs?
Shout out! Oh my God, that's pressure. I do have a shout out.
You don't have to. I just didn't have any. Okay.
Okay, well, I do have one. There's this girl, Allison, who I've been friends with on Facebook for a while now, and she has not made videos, but she just started. She made her video, and she had RNY. I'm not quite sure how long ago, but she's lost over 100 pounds. She has a little ways to go, and she lives in Nashville, but she would love to live in New Orleans, so she comes here a couple of times a year. We've had coffee right after Mardi Gras this year. We had coffee together, and I got to meet her. She's a really great person, and her channel is Finally Mommy Space RNY, and she needs some help. She's kind of like at a plateau right now, and so I would love for people to go and subscribe to her channel, and she's just a really sweet person, so I'll give her a shout out.
Awesome. How about you, Kirk?
You know what? If I were to start that, I would leave somebody out, and then I would feel really, really super bad. There's a lot of people. I'll say this: there's a lot of people that are in their pre-op diets right now that I'm very proud of. How well they're doing, and talking about their struggles with that. There's too many people that I'm just intensely involved with right now, to where I just couldn't single anybody out, other than, of course, my Mr. Eric. Just another special shout out for 10 fantastic years, hopefully another 10 fantastic. I wouldn't be nearly as successful at what I do and feel half as good about myself without him in my life. So my shout out, if I'm going to do one, is to Mr. Eric.
Good choice. I like that choice. You know what, guys? I'm going to do something. You guys are going to be part of an exclusive. I didn't warn you about this, and I should have. But so here's how FatKings is going to work. I think for the rest of this month, FatKings is going to go out on a hiatus on this big show. See, we had the big show here to take us out on a hiatus, and then we're going to come back in June with our new official permanent guest or our permanent co-host. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to invite this person in. This is an exclusive. We haven't told anybody about this, but this person is going to be the new co-host. So I'm gonna send him out an invite here, and we're gonna talk a little bit to him, and then we'll talk about our plans. Talk about our plans.
I feel so privileged. Yay!
Yeah, so he's kind of new to community. A lot of you don't know him. Some of you do. He's a kind of a big personality.
He's foreign, isn't he?
He's foreign. He's from England originally, he's got he's got a big personality. He was recommended by the previous host very highly. And,
I would imagine.
I bet.
So I would like to take this time to introduce the one and only Tyrone Long Johnson.
What's going on, man?
Oh, Tyrone.
So after a critical vetting process, Tyrone will be our new co-host starting in June when FatKings returns.
Yay!
Thank you.
Tyrone, tell us a little bit about yourself. Now, I heard you've got some amazing things about you. Your birthday is on 4/20/69.
I do. I have the perfect birthday, which is 4/20/69, and which you can't really beat that birthday. I don't think. I mean, I'm even older than Tanya. Then that's pretty fucking old.
And you basically all the rumors we've heard about you are true. So we don't have to worry about it.
It's true. Actually, you guys were really fucking boring, and so I came up with some questions while I was watching you guys.
Oh God.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
So let's go a little longer.
Well, okay.
I like long.
Well, you married an Australian, so never mind. So, Kirk, me and you had a lot of beard-to-beard time together in Tampa, and I was just wondering how that felt after the baby smoothness that E possesses.
Well, gosh, it's really what I couldn't get past is there may have been a lot of beard-to-beard time, but I did not get the taint to sternum time
that Sarah got.
That Sarah got.
Well,
I could not. I couldn't figure out why I was not getting the Tyrone taint.
She was the one that crawled between my legs, but the camera turned off, and then it turned into a rolling brownout. So it was probably better that you weren't involved in that at all, unless you're into that sort of thing. Sarah wasn't, and that's why she hates me now. That's what really happened in Tampa.
Yeah.
That was the real controversy.
Yeah.
Although I do remember that Kirk was involved in like some kind of lawn chair situation. I'm just gonna say.
The luge.
The luge.
Well,
Lawn chair luge.
Slow motion bobsled.
That's right, the slow motion bobsled.
Yeah. Corey has the bobsled videos, I believe, somewhere that maybe we can get released on a B-roll somewhere.
Perhaps.
So, speaking of B-roll, have you noticed a difference in the anal or vaginal tightness when it comes to sex since weight loss?
My vagina is much tighter.
Well, I said anal or vaginal. I was trying to cover both.
I don't know.
You can't say? Neither one of you had compliments one way or the other. Like, you were good before, but now you're like, better.
I'm way better now.
You're way better now?
Way better.
That's a question that you'd probably have to ask Eric, and you would have to. He still wouldn't be able to give you a post WLS answer to that question.
He wouldn't. You just had a 10-year anniversary. How does he not? You're not much of a giver, Kirk. I think we need to talk, man.
Yeah, it takes a lot of rum, and it takes two of us to be in the same place at the same time.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you add that to your partner Q&A.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a good thing to know. So I think I have this theory that all straight women become bi once they start drinking and they get drunk. Tanya, I think you could probably confirm this, but my real question is, Kirk, do you notice that straight men become bi once they start drinking?
I have a theory that pretty much everybody starts to become bi once they start drinking. Or
I can confirm that with Kirk.
Yeah,
I definitely thinks that people become bi when they drink.
Gay men become.
I don't know if it was the drinking or if it was just Tanya though, because it could just be Tanya. But yeah, like I said, I kissed a girl and I liked it.
You liked it? You liked the taste of her cherry chapstick?
I love the taste of her cherry chapstick. Yeah.
That was cake batter chapstick, just to confirm.
Oh, was that the flavor?
Yeah, cake batter. Yeah.
So Tanya, was it hard to go back to John in both stature and dancing skills after spending some time with me in Tampa?
And dancing skills, yes, because he has no dancing skills.
And so you feel that I have dancing skills. John's dancing skills are so unfucking real in a bad way that my dancing skills look good, is what you're saying?
Y'all are about equal.
Oh, okay.
I was used.
All I have to say is thank God that there was a fanny pack between Tyrone and anyone with a uterus.
That's right.
Because I'm pretty sure 9 months from now there would be a mini Tyrone walking around.
I think so. The fanny pack was protection, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Definitely the fanny pack is a whole nother layer of safe sex.
Yes.
In many ways.
You know, speaking of safe sex, all women think that they can turn gay guys straight. Do all gay guys think they can turn straight guys gay?
Bill? Was that a question for Bill?
As a gay man, I can't turn
No, that was for you, Kirk.
Oh.
I'm the only gay man here.
You're the only gay guy here.
I don't know. With all this talk of 50 Shades of Phil, I don't know what the next big announcement.
I saw a super top secret picture that the people weren't identifiable, but
you knew who they were.
I knew who they were, and I'm gonna say that under the right circumstances, with the right amount of alcohol, that straight men do turn bi.
Huh.
Even the manliest of straight men turn bi.
Whether they want to or not.
I'm not opposed to people breaking down personal walls and barriers, whatever. Personal growth, whatever. But my real answer is I believe you are who you are, and we're all 50 Shades of Grey.
I agree.
It's so poetic.
Some of us are grayer than others.
So speaking of gray, do you think it's important to suck on the ball sack when you're performing oral sex?
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
No, I'm just.
We gotta throw the audience back in.
I'm just
carrying the show solo for a while.
I was sitting there and I was like, he should really ask this question. Because you got the two perfect guests.
Yeah. By the way, Eric is loving all of these questions. I say
John, not so much.
I say not only should you suck on the ball sack during oral sex, but you could also tongue a little bit of the anus.
Really? Oh, holy crap.
That was you got to get off the show now.
That's dangerous, yeah.
That was the alarm bell.
Okay, Tanya, how do you feel about this?
Inquiring minds.
I've never had to go there, so I guess what I do is good enough without doing that. I don't
Wow.
That
know.
was tactfully answered.
Wow. Okay.
So now you can see why we chose Tyrone as the new co-host.
He gets the hard-hitting
He
question.
gets the
Oh.
hard-hitting questions that I'm just too chicken to go after.
Oh, you know what? No, here's an important one. This is a good one. Okay. So when you're having sex, whoever's on top, right? If
Yeah.
you look down
Yeah.
and you see that loose skin swaying, does it kind of take you out of the mood a little bit?
I had the loose skin cut off.
Yeah.
So new loose skin for you? What about you, Kirk?
It depends on which way Eric is facing.
Right. So if he can't see it, you don't care?
Yeah, if he's facing away, then I don't care.
But if he can, then yeah.
Then
It
I might
bothers
be a
you.
little. I might take pause, but then
Do you feel, were you always like a lights on or a lights off guy? And has it changed since weight loss?
I was probably a lights off both. But I'm okay with like ambient light or closet light or.
An
A
ambient
closet-
light.
a
I thought you said an
closet light.
ambient light. I'm like, yeah, I can see an ambient light.
Ambient. Yeah, ambient sex. That's what I like.
I mean, sex with a bag of popcorn.
Ambient sex with a bag of skinny pop.
There you go.
Phil, have you noticed a change in lights on versus lights off?
No, I mean, as a guy, I like lights on. Obviously, you want to see
Right.
visually stimulated. But
Right.
as for the hanging skin, yeah, that shit bothers me a little bit. So
Does it?
it gets inside my head, and then that does not help. That does not help. So
They have a thing for that.
yeah, well, I got a guy. I know a guy.
You know a guy who you can see a guy about a dog.
I can see a guy about a blue friend.
Well,
oh,
I was
Tanya,
yeah.
yours was cut off, but okay. Oh, I'm sorry. The lights on. Were you lights on, lights off?
Well, I was definitely lights off before, and now anything goes. I don't care
That's
either
just
way.
video cameras.
Yeah, video cameras, whatever. Because I'm
I've
narcissistic.
always been.
so I
I've been
watch
such a
myself.
huge video person. Just like, and since the invent of phones, I'm a fucking pornographic home movie freak. Just videoing everything. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Tanya. Lights on, lights off.
Oh my gosh.
I think she froze up at that
That-
question. You broke her internet.
And
You
I'm,
broke
I'm,
her internet. Oh, there she is.
I'm open to lights on or lights off. I don't care anymore.
Every third word's coming through.
I said lights on or lights
Okay,
off.
I'm lights on. I mean, lights off's okay, but me personally, I would really prefer lights on. So Kirk, I have another question for you. So, and no, this one isn't bad. I promise.
Eric put you up to this. I know it. I squirm about talking about sex. So, all right.
No, this one isn't. This is a good one. Okay, so in the gay community, whenever you meet another gay individual, you automatically feel camaraderie with them because you're both gay. Do you feel, is it the same with WLS people, or is it more with WLS people that there's an automatic type of connection there because of you share that in common?
I don't necessarily feel like just because somebody else is gay, you automatically feel camaraderie with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because some queens really kind of just put me off, like real fast, just because of the type of people they are necessarily, not whatever. But I'll tell you that I feel more. I would say I feel more connected to. I feel closer to people that are WLSers than probably automatically. Because for me, yeah, I would say that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then what about, I guess for the other three of you would be do you feel the same camaraderie with WLS people that you did with fat people? Like if you walked into a room, you would quickly scope out and be like, fat, okay, I got people here, I'm good to go. I mean, do you feel that same camaraderie with WLSers?
No, I didn't scope out the room for other fat people.
What?
No. I mean,
Well, it depends,
no.
right? Because
I mean,
you could walk into a room and see like the slovenly stereotype fat person be like, I don't want to have any association because I don't want to be lumped in with guilty. You know, whether they're the best person on the planet, but your own hang-ups keep you from hanging out with them because you're like, I don't want to be looped in with that. You know, I don't want people to think I'm slovenly or whatever.
Exactly.
To where
no, when I walk into a room, I can pretty much tell, you know, if they've got a freaking mullet and a fanny pack, I know exactly that that's the person I'm going to connect with.
Right. You're like, fuck yeah.
The hot chick at the bar with the New Orleans accent, drinking, you know, having fun. Like I'm drawn and I'm attracted to people who are open and fun and have maybe not as much of a filter as the rest of the world. So those are the people that I automatically feel kind of drawn to. I like people who are perfectly inappropriate and who get that they're inappropriate. So,
you know, speaking of inappropriate, so I'm just curious, is semen, is it harder to get out of your beard or your hair?
Well, I would say that if you're as skilled as I am, it does not end up in either one of those places. And
thank you.
Yes, I wouldn't know.
Okay, good. No, that's an excellent answer. That's what I usually say. If it gets in your hair, you didn't open your mouth wide enough. That's not my fault.
I mean, it's wasteful.
Right.
We've
Absolutely.
got protein.
All right, we're here. Okay, Phil, those were the questions I had. Sorry. I mean, I was just dying to ask them the whole time.
Well,
I
I'm
mean, there
glad
were
you
several
saved them.
ends,
I
so,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
Wait, let me point out that a majority of those questions involved either cock, penis, taint, gay sex, like Tyrone, definitely.
Yeah, there were no vagina.
There's indicators.
Yeah.
There was no vagina question.
There's only one vagina question. That's true.
Well, the thing is that I know all there is to know about vagina and women. I don't know about the gay man.
That's good to know. That's
Well,
good to know.
you know a lot more after Tampa.
That's right.
Tyrone had his whole gaggle of gays, actually.
That's right. Well, I have my gaggle of gays, but Phil, man, we didn't get to interact at all in Tampa because I couldn't get past the mob of women that were surrounding him the entire time and everywhere he went.
With cinnamon sugar vodka.
Right.
I know. He was like Pied Piper with that shit.
It was. It was like magic. I gotta.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy stock in that stuff. So.
That's his best pickup line.
Yeah.
I have cinnamon sugar vodka.
Don't even say anything. Just hold it up. Show them.
So we're gonna do hiatus, right? Until
I think it'll be early June. We'll get the exact date out once we get it picked out. But it'll still be Thursday, still same time.
It should be around. It should be around my birthday. June
Right.
9th.
50.
69.
5-0 coming up.
Did you say 50?
yeah, it's 50.
Right?
No, you're supposed to be on my side.
Tyrone said it was 50. He texted
Right,
me.
she was born in '64.
There you go.
I was born in 74.
Oh, 74. Oh, okay.
I'm the oldest one out of all y'all. I'm the oldest one.
How old are you, Kirk?
I'm 45.
That's right, you are. Okay, I knew that.
It's not that much older. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we may have to go down. Now we may have to delay it another week. We may have to go to Tanya's birthday party. So we'll have to figure that out. But
y'all are all invited. I'm having a huge party. Y'all are all invited.
Liver can take another New Orleans.
Don't say that.
All right. So yeah, that's when we'll be back. We'll be back in the first week, probably of June. If not the first week, it'll be the second week. But we'll let you guys know either way. And if you don't follow us anymore, well, then you'll miss out on all the Tyronisms.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invite.
No problem. You came highly recommended by the previous guest host and the previous permanent host.
He was much more sensitive than I am, so
Yes.
we won't have to deal with that emotional shit anymore. So.
All right, guys. Thank you guys both so much for coming on. That was the show. I think that everybody was. I mean, we've had so many great guests, but everybody was like just dying to see you too. So.
Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome. So. All right. So tell June. Remember, it's good to be the king.
It's good to be the
Turn the
queen.
mouse off. You can't turn the mouse off with both hands like this. So.
Good no double fisting while delivering.
No double fisting when you're trying to sign off the show. Good to be the king.